Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi. It's weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. And we had some heavy rain overnight. That has pretty much moved on out to the east now. And we're going to probably spend the rest of the day in a lot of clouds and dealing with a raw wind off the water and the marine layer and waiting for a warm front to come through sometime late tonight or first thing Friday morning. That is going to be orchestrated by a developing storm that is coming out of the southwest and central Rockies. And you can see that there's a large area of blizzard warnings up for parts of southeastern Wyoming, western Nebraska, the northeastern quarter of Colorado, and various winter storm warnings that are up as well. Looks like those winter storm warnings actually have been expanded a bit in Nebraska. And we have winter weather advisories, of course, surrounding that. On the other side, flash flood watches up from northeast Texas, northeastward into the lower Ohio Valley, and in the red, those little red boxes are counties that, as of 8 this morning, we're dealing with flash flood warnings. We also have some winter storm warnings up scattered around in parts of the southwest down into New Mexico and Arizona. Wind advisories and some high wind warnings up as well. So this storm system is creating a bit of havoc here. And the other issue today is going to be severe weather, and it looks to be fairly extensive. We have two areas of enhanced risk, one in southern Indiana, Illinois, and southeastern Missouri, and a small portion of northwestern Kentucky, and also another area of enhanced risk in northern Missouri, southern Iowa, and all that encased inside a much larger area of slight risk and marginal risk. Now, we want to pay a little bit of attention here to day two, where we are going to see a marginal risk of severe weather. This is for Friday, and this covers the parts of the Northeast and Northern Mid-Atlantic states from Maryland on northward into upstate New York and Western New England. And this includes Baltimore. Looks like Washington, D.C. may literally be just barely out of it, but Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York City, all part of the equation here, as well as Pittsburgh, Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse, and also as far west as Cleveland. So we do have this marginal risk setting up for Friday. And also, I think there might be a chance that we could see a small area of slight risk when it's all said and done. So here's the issue today, and you'll notice on the wind barbs down in Virginia, we've got southerly winds, but you go just north of there, and these are 8 a.m. temperatures, by the way. You just go into southern Pennsylvania, southern New Jersey, and points north, and the winds are all pretty much from the northeast. So that's the marine layer that's holding in, and the warm frontal boundary running to the south, and eventually it will be pushing northward and getting through here. So if you look at the satellite loop this morning, one area of cloud cover, the bright white clouds moving off the coast of New England here. That's that first area of rain. And now we have that the storm starting to rev up in the west with low pressure in Colorado. And you can see the spinning rotation there with the upper air shortwave trough that is forcing all this. And the moisture, the tropical moisture that is feeding out from the Pacific across Mexico into Texas and then shooting up into the plains and middle Mississippi Valley. That's where we have our risk of severe weather. Radar as of 8 a.m. So you see the heavy rains now into New England and moving east. There are just a few scattered leftover showers to the west. I don't really think we're going to see too much in the way of rain today. This second area that is gelling up, this is part of the storm. This is from the storm system itself, the low that's developing back through Colorado, and will be moving eventually to the northeast and over toward the Great Lakes. We just want to point out a couple of things from the standpoint of snow. This is the probability of at least 4 inches of snow from the Weather Prediction Center, and the darkest blue is where you get a 40% probability of or higher of at least 4. The issue here is not that we're going to see mega amounts of snow with this. It's more along the lines of the fact that the wind is going to be an issue. So the snow amounts actually will probably be moderate in range. Most places averaging 6 to 12. If we show you the probability of at least 12, it is fairly confined to a small portion of 50 to 60% chance in a small area west of Denver, west of Interstate 25. There really isn't much probability showing up as you go to the north and east of there. Minimal probabilities in and around the Great Lakes. I just want to kind of make that point. So here's how it plays out for the rest of the day. And of course, we've that first area of heavy rain for us is moved out. Meanwhile, there's your low in Colorado beginning to develop, and that area of heavy snow that plays through this afternoon and into tonight. The low moves towards the Great Lakes. The snow area shrinks, and now the warm front attempts to go by sometime before daybreak as the low runs up into the northern lakes. And we get into that west southwest wind during the day tomorrow. Warm fronts can be tricky, as we know. Sometimes they do get hung up. We'll see. And it does appear as if we'll be in a warm sector. And here's where you get maybe some convective activity with some showers and thunderstorms. Whether they hold together or not remains to be seen. And then we should dry out until it turn chilly over the weekend as high pressure builds in. And then we'll be watching the next weather system make its approach. Some of the models are trying to show this high being a cold high that it is, perhaps wedging in a little bit of cold air, and you can see that the GFS produces a minimal amount of snow in Pennsylvania and upstate New York and rain everywhere else. The European model overnight actually was a little bit more bullish from that respect, but I'm just going to go with the idea that there's nothing new here in the overall pattern that's going to make me want to change my mind as far as snow is concerned. And of course, today we see spring arriving officially, and tomorrow will be the first day of spring. Now, where the warm air is already in place with that warm front down in Virginia and southern Maryland and moving northward, you see the high temperatures today, upper 60s and low 70s, and even some middle and upper 70s south and west of the Washington, D.C. area. You get back to low 60s and middle 60s in southern New Jersey, and then you see mostly upper 40s to mid 50s, northern New Jersey, northeastern Pennsylvania, northeastward to southern New England. Friday, we are going to be in the 70s and mid to upper 70s as you go south and west, and upper 70s and low 80s down in Maryland and northeastern Virginia, while it'll probably hold on to be mostly in the 60s as we head up into southern New England. And then as far as the weekend is concerned, Saturday looking like we'll chill down back to the upper 40s and low 50s just about everywhere. And Sunday is going to be cool. Again, both days will be dry, downright chilly in some spots. Sunday's highs only in the low to middle 40s in most places. So not much improvement today. It's going to be one of those gray, raw days. We will see what happens with regards to the severe weather outbreaks later today and tonight. And of course, again, we have a marginal risk of severe weather here from the northern mid-Atlantic states northeastward into western New England for Friday. The Joe and Joe Weather Show tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Be sure to tune in for that. And in the meantime, we'll have website posts, and the weather apps will be updated as the day rolls on. Have a great day, everybody.